A 26-year-old man claiming he's a woman is sentenced to a female juvenile detention center for what? For molesting a child? You gotta be kidding me. Hey everyone, it's me and Marie. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I have quite a story, just came out yesterday, and it involves these three people. We all know who this demon is, and this guy is a district attorney, and they have quite a relationship. This man is, from what he says, not a man anymore. He identifies now as a woman. This is the 26-year-old sexual offender, child molester, who was just sentenced to serve his time in a female juvenile facility. So I want to share an article with you that came from Neon Nettle, and it talks about what just happened the other day in, guess where? California. So here it is. George Soros' woke D.A. sends adult transgender pedophile to female juvenile facility. 26-year-old biological male convicted of raping 10-year-old girl. Just disgusting. And this, and I'm sticking with his name, is now Hannah Tubbs. He wasn't transgender before he was arrested, but he claimed to be afterwards. An adult biological male transgender pedophile has been sentenced to serve 2 years in a female juvenile facility after being convicted of raping a 10-year-old girl. A Los Angeles County judge on Thursday sentenced 26-year-old Hannah Tubbs after pleading guilty to sexually assaulting the young child in 2014. Before issuing the sentence, Judge Mario Barrera blasted woke District Attorney George Gaskin for tying his hands on the punishment. Gaskin, who was installed by far-left billionaire George Soros, refused to prosecute the repeat offender as an adult, preventing the court from sending the pedophile to a non-juvenile prison. Tubbs pled guilty to molesting the girl in a woman's bathroom 8 years ago when Tubbs was 2 weeks away from turning 18. At the time of the crime, the child molester identified as male and went by James Tubbs, only claiming to be transgender and identifying as female after being taken into custody, according to prosecutors. Okay, here's that George Gaskin, and he was installed by George Soros, I believe. I think it was like $2 million that he provided to his campaign. We're going to find out for sure in just a minute. Tubbs is 26 years old. L.A. Deputy District Attorney John Hatami, assigned to the Complex Child Abuse Unit, told Fox News Digital. Unlike George Gaskin's false narrative, he is not a kid. There was evidence presented at the juvenile proceedings which showed that Tubbs sexually assaulted 2 young girls in different incidents in the past. The child victims will suffer lifelong trauma. Tubbs also has prior violent convictions and conduct as an adult. It's unbelievable. Prosecutors say that Tubbs walked into the bathroom of a Denny's in 2014 and grabbed the 10-year-old by the throat, locked her in a stall, and forced his hand down the girl's pants. Tubbs stopped when another person walked into the restroom, the Los Angeles Times reported. Because Tubbs began identifying as a female after being taken into custody, and Gaskin refused to try the suspect as an adult, Tubbs was sentenced to 2 years in a juvenile facility. These people are sick. In L.A. County, juvenile facilities can house both females and males, but in separate areas. Tubbs will be housed with the females. 2 years is the maximum sentence for any juvenile in the new program over the age of 25, according to the Deputy District Attorney Shay Sana. This new program sounds like garbage. I don't know. Anyway, the sentencing sparked criticism of Gaskin, who had vowed to immediately stop prosecuting children as adults. Now, I actually agree with that in almost every respect. You know, we've got 13-year-olds that are being charged as adults for gun violations and different kinds of drug violations, different kinds of things. This is not a time to be doing this. He was 2 weeks away from 18 and has had numerous incidents, shall we say. Gaskin has cited studies showing brain development isn't complete until a person is 25 and contends juvenile detention can rehabilitate young offenders. Okay, now this is fascinating. This is going to tie into another story I'm going to end up doing, but in California they want, and in New York too, I think they want, actually in the country, in the Voting Rights Act or whatever their garbage they're trying to call it, that they're trying to shove down our throats, they want kids as young as 16 to be able to vote. So I find this interesting. It's just total hypocrisy. When it suits their purpose, they want kids to make medical decisions for themselves, as in the video I just posted about potentially 12-year-olds being able to decide whether they want vaccines and medications and medical treatment or not. Here, it's saying that brain development isn't complete until age 25, so they shouldn't be held accountable for a sexual assault on a child. You can't have it both ways. This is just, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. The LA County Sheriff's Office offered to house Tubbs in its county jail, but Judge Mario Barrera ultimately decided he did not have the authority to issue an order housing Tubbs in county jail or with the sheriff's department, Sana said, adding that the judge's hands were tied. So here, yeah, this is a Twitter post. A judge gave a 26-year-old who molested 10-year-old girl in 2014 2 years in juvenile facility. Said his hands were tied and that the DA will not try the then 17-year-old as an adult. And he will not have to register as a sex offender after those 2 years. If he was tried as an adult, he could be spending 8 to 12 years of his life in prison for this crime. Barrera reportedly blamed Gaskin's policies for not transferring Tubbs to an adult court during the court proceeding on Thursday. I want to be clear, Barrera said during the Thursday sentencing in Lancaster, California courtroom, according to the Times. The filing of a transfer motion is entirely within the discretion of the district attorney. Barrera's hands were tied, Sana said. In the end, the judge decided he did not have the authority to issue an order housing Tubbs in county jail or with the sheriff's department. Catherine Barger, chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, called the outcome of the case unsatisfactory in a statement Thursday. Okay, well, that's a little bit of an understatement. Judge Barrera's hands were tied today due to the fact the DA's office failed to file a motion to transfer Tubbs to an adult criminal court, which is where he rightly belongs, Barger said. Instead, we're left with a 26-year-old individual sentenced to 2 years in a juvenile facility in isolation, separated by sight and sound from the other juveniles. In a January 18th letter to Barger, Gaskin described Tubbs' conduct as deplorable. I am shocked and outraged that he, evaded capture for so long, Gaskin wrote. The harm that he caused is irreparable. Tubbs has been sentenced to our county's secure treatment facility for youth, the location of which has yet to be approved. He added that all cases of adults returning to juvenile court will continue to be flagged and reviewed for possible adult jurisdiction resolutions. Tubbs was not linked to the case until 2019. The pedophile's DNA was entered into a database that year following an arrest on suspicion of battery in Idaho. Prosecutors filed charges against Tubbs for the 2014 assault case in 2020, not long after Gaskin took office. Tubbs has been previously arrested for battery, drug possession, and probation violations in Idaho and Washington. Tubbs has a pending misdemeanor case in Washington and was also accused of sexually assaulting a minor in Kern County, California, but the case did not get prosecuted, according to the LA Times. I wonder why. Tubbs might also qualify as developmentally disabled and has multiple mental illnesses, the paper reported. Well, so we just let him walk around? Gaskin told the LA Times he was concerned Tubbs could be victimized in an adult facility as a trans woman, and said a probation report recommended the child sex abuser be sentenced to home confinement. Actually, he'd be more likely to be victimized as a pedophile, not so much a trans woman. Prosecutors asked that Tubbs be kept in custody for 2 years instead. Yeah, they wanted home confinement for a pedophile. Because of George Gaskin's blanket policy against transferring any juvenile to adult court, even if the 17-year-old rapes or murders an innocent child, James Tubbs will not have to register as a sex offender, will not spend any time in county jail or state prison, will be 26 and housed with juveniles for a very short period of time, and will be released with no probation or parole monitoring, Hatami said. The victims will get no justice, the public will get no safety. He added that Gaskin has sacrificed the safety of the public, the rights of the victim, and justice in order to follow his own political ideology. It's an injustice against all of us, especially the young victims. Exactly. I mean, I couldn't agree with that anymore. This is a disgusting case. Unfortunately, it's not an isolated incident. And, I mean, people like this guy right here, this is why we just can't have this. We can't have these George Soros-backed criminals. They're deviants. They're criminals. They do not do anything to serve the people as they have been hired to do. And we can't have it anymore. So let's just take a really quick peek, actually. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but another little article that just shows a little bit more about who this character is. So let's look at this. This is the kind of thing he does, and this came from the Washington Examiner and was about a year ago, little less than a year ago. Soros-backed D.A. hires public defender with history of anti-police rhetoric and limited experience as a high-ranking prosecutor. So, like I said, I'm just going to kind of go through this kind of quickly, but this is the woman, Tiffany Blacknell, and last year he hired her to his administration as a grade 4 prosecutor. And in order to be hired as a grade 4 prosecutor, I think you have to have at least 2 years as a grade 3, successfully as a grade 3 prosecutor. But I'm not really sure. I think it says down here in the article a little bit further down. But this is the types of things that this person, Blacknell, does. In December, I reported that Blacknell was involved in an alleged secret sweetheart plea deal offer of 7 years to a suspected gang murderer behind the backs of a prosecutor and the victim's family. Thankfully, the deal fell apart after the judge found out about it. But this is the kind of stuff that this woman does. She believes that prison is obsolete. We should get rid of it. She has said that, here we go. The police are trained to kill us. That's her general take on, law enforcement. And I mean, obviously, every group of people has some subgroup that are not good, and it's not about their position per se. It's about the kind of human being that they are. But people like her would like you to believe that all police officers are bad. Yet at the same time, they believe that people like this should be given, some exception. So that's fascinating to me. So, here's the other point I wanted to oh yeah, Gaskin, who received $2 million of funding from billionaire George Soros during his campaign, is at the center of a recall effort after he announced radical criminal reform changes, including an end to cash bail, a ban on prosecutors seeking enhanced prison sentences, and showing leniency to many low-level offenders. Well, okay, this guy's not a low-level offender. Why is he being shown leniency? He's a pedophile. All right. Yeah, so this woman is actually, it says in this article, she will be making, oh, here we go. Blacknell will make $15,000 a month as a grade 4 prosecutor, and suspicions have surfaced that Gaskin, oh, maybe it's Gascon, whatever, he's Gaskin to me, that Gaskin chose a political ally to fill the position over qualified prosecutors. Malugan reported that Blacknell does not meet the minimum qualifications of 2 years of experience as a grade 3 prosecutor. So, $15,000 a month. $15,000 a month. Interesting. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that article to your attention. Obviously, there is a recall effort going on, by the way, for this character right now, I think. And so if you are in California and you are in that area, certainly find out more about it. If you do not believe that this creep deserves to be anywhere in public service, he's clearly not a public servant. And, get on that petition. And if you're not in California, it still matters because we've got Soros-backed DAs all over the place. We have Soros-backed people, whether they be, in politics, and they're everywhere. So we need to pay attention for these folks. But definitely take a look in your own area and do some research on the people that are supposed to be supporting you. And take a look at criminal cases and what kind of sentences are being handed out. I do agree that the criminal justice system can be fairly heavy-handed with certain things, like marijuana type things, and but we can't have this going on. We can't have it for our towns, our states, our country, and most importantly, we need to have a safe place for our children to grow up feeling secure and happy. So thanks for joining me here. Become the cause. Definitely get out there. Become the cause of what you want to see in this world. We are the ones we've been waiting for. No one's coming to save us. It's all up to us. All right. See you next time.